I'm showing the save file again because it kind of looks like it's complete, right? Like the progress bar is all the way full, but it's actually not, if I remember correctly. Oh right, I still have Crocodibli's hair. Didn't remember that either. Off to the gold sheep, there isn't much else to show. Although, as a small detail, the toast time machine, you can see what appears to be the wreckage of it, but a different wreckage from this one in Yumtown, which is a surprising detail. Like that's not a joke or something random that has implications beyond the surreal nonsense that this game mostly consists of. Oh, and I have written down this entire code, and depending on how this goes, I might do that as well in the same video. But it's a lot of stuff here. I am a true hero. I never take the easy path. Yeah, welcome to Hub World 4. It's very small, but yep. Where does Warp Zone actually take you? I assume... Oh yeah, it's not Yumtown. And yeah, that is World 4. You're not gonna see anything revolutionary here though, but it's still really cool. And again, what a strange atmosphere. I quite like this place. But I can't remember which of these teleporters is what. I guess I'll go through this one first. Aha. Now I know. And yeah, there are unique tracks for these levels, which is really cool. And again with a cross pickup at the start. It's a boss rush. It's quite fun. Although I'm not sure I'll have too much to say about it. Hopefully I won't fail too badly. I think I just jinxed myself. But at least now... Oh! The hair is like a hat. Oh, what happens if you get Crocodibli's hair in both of the hats? Probably nothing, but that occurs to me. And yeah, the boss order is randomized. It is easier since you have all the power-ups. It's not gonna be like the first time you fought a lot of the bosses. The random teleportation of this robot is no problem, by the way, because it gives you just enough of a grace period to react. Oh yeah, you do get healing after a fight. Uh-huh. It's you. I could try mine missiles. Probably wise. Oh, the double jump makes this so much easier. I think the only concern now is if Gas Man decides to go straight up while I'm jumping over him. And I'm not sure, but maybe the bosses have less life here to make this sort of a victory lap. Oh god. Oh no, I was gonna show something off, but I can't, so I guess I'll just explain. When you fight this boss, what was it, Toxicively? I already forgot. There's a way to damage boost behind it. It does a ton of damage on contact, but doesn't instantly kill you. And when you're back there, the projectiles can't hit you. And if you get knocked back properly, you'll be facing to the left. So then you could just spam Void Block and Essentially, the boss isn't invincible, it just takes regular damage constantly. But there is a period where you can sneak in a void block and deal double damage to it. So that's a fast, safe way to cheese this boss. It's what I was alluding to earlier. But if you look at the blocks on the right side of the boss, I can't do it now, so I have to do this legit. And even though the blocks are not visible, I just touch them, they are solid. So, yeah. I get the feeling that Ryan was aware of the cheese, maybe even put it in intentionally, but decided to disable it for the boss rush, which makes sense. This is a challenge, after all. Shouldn't be too bad, although, boy am I tempting fate by saying that. No, I think I'm comfortable with all the patterns at this point. It might be possible to use Void Block from this side of the boss, but it seems way more trouble than it's worth. Maybe if you're speedrunning and you're doing whatever 100% would be. I'm pretty sure the life system doesn't matter here. If you die, you go back to the beginning of the boss rush. And if you get a game over, you can just hold down and it makes no difference. There's something to be said for selective application of punishment, like a live system. Oh no, I accidentally did that again. Yeah, I think I can definitively say that a better control scheme would have been nice for that. But for example, I'm pretty sure that Curse of the Moon gives you an infinitely respawning 1-up in front of a checkpoint when it doesn't want game overs to apply to a challenge, which is maybe a bit too lenient. Like, I'm not sure they should really do that in that game, but maybe in some games it does make sense. It's all subjective, it's all a case-by-case basis. Yeah, this is the slug. Mine missiles, I suppose. Yeah, I seem to remember that it can climb on walls. Or is that just a quirk of how it moves, that it looks like it... No, it climbs on walls. Why wasn't it doing that when I fought it for the first time in Suburb? Maybe I was just unlucky. Or lucky. Depending. Or does it climb the wall if it ends up getting close to the wall when it's bouncing? Oh, those fade fast. What the heck? Gotta grab them quick. Uh-huh. We're underwater. It's the water boss. What are you, like, Gunner Ibli? Okay, that was terrible. That was even worse. Curses. I choked hard. What can I say? Maybe I'm being a bit too aggressive here. Yeah, that hurts quite a bit. Okay. this should be free, but it's not impossible to die. I guess the topic of boss rushes is something I could talk about. I can see how boss rushes can be seen as filler when they're mandatory. Like in the Mega Man franchise. Although it sort of became a tradition there. This is optional, so obviously that doesn't apply. You'll see what this amounts to later. And it's interesting. I wonder what the most creative instance of a boss rush would be. Star of Providence's Trials are a boss rush. That's what they were marketed as, I guess you could say, before the update released. They feel a little different because they have unique level design, music, and lore. This has the music. And there are some unique bosses altogether in the boss rushes. Which I've also seen in another game, but I might play that game. And I don't want to spoil that. I want it to come as a surprise, and then I'll say, yep, this is the game. And I guess how much I would enjoy a boss rush in any game depends on how much I enjoy the bosses in general. So sometimes it can be like, oh, you're telling me I get to do the best part of the game all over again? Damn it. Choking on that boss doesn't get worse than that. Other games still, I think, use a boss rush as a victory lap. Which can be kind of satisfying, but if it's trivially easy, I don't know. I don't really get much out of that. And then there are games that are just a boss rush. As a design decision, the entire game is a boss rush, like Fury by the Game Bakers. I guess I could do this, but I also want to kill it fast. Sort of playing with fire here. Oh no. I do think getting hit by multiples of those resets your freeze duration. Or maybe it's petrification, I don't know. I don't see why a rock would use ice. But anyway, I digress. I quite like Fury, by the way. Nowadays, I think more of it will bother me than before. Specifically when it comes to some of the core gameplay mechanics. The invincible dash is very dominant. And I feel like I've played a game that just has a better version of that dash where you control its distance. But I still like Fury. Its soundtrack is great. It has a fantastic hard mode. Rarely do you ever see a game change something about every single attack of every enemy. But oh boy, is it great. I wonder what the Game Bakers are doing. I haven't paid much attention. That was... I clearly wasn't paying attention there either. I think I got one of the DLCs for Fury because it had new bosses, and they were pretty cool. I think there were just 2 of them. The DLC was called One More Fight, but that was sort of a lie, but a good lie. You get more than you bargained for. And I seem to remember that the one boss that's actually shown in the DLC and like the promotional material was an Xbox exclusive boss. Which is weird because when you see where the boss is in the game, it's like, what the hell? That seems like a pretty significant mandatory part of the story. Why is it not available in other versions? But I don't know. Exclusive content is weird. Games exclusive to specific platforms are also weird. I still can't believe that the only thing I've played in any serious capacity on PlayStation 5 until Expedition 33 was Returnal. And then it released on Steam. And it's like, what the hell, Sony? You bought Housemarque and made Returnal a timed exclusive just to sell PS5s? Is that what's going on? I have to say, I'm questioning what the purpose of consoles even is anymore. Like, in practical terms, what do they do that a PC can't do? And considering that I have a PS5 controller that I use on my PC, it's like, you know, like maybe my PC specs are bad. Actually, they are. That's why I'm playing Expedition 33 on PS5, but also screw you, Unreal Engine. Why are you so taxing? But anyway. I guess if consoles ideally were specialized PCs that developers made games for, that could be worth it. But I'm not sure that's even... I'm not even sure the best case scenario of that is anywhere close to the reality of what's being done. And I guess part of the problem is if you do multitasking like me, or you want to record, it becomes sort of a problem. To use a console, because they're not good at multitasking at all. They might pretend that they have it, but they can pretty much only do one thing at a time, maybe with the occasional chat or voice chat feature messages. Oh right, I forgot about this boss. I nailed it earlier, and I'm already failing. Maybe that was some version of beginner's luck. That's pretty good. Might have to concentrate a little here. Oh, the double jump is a very big deal there. I think the Humanibli stages in World 2 are where you can use the double jump and all the other powers. Although maybe the double jump is disabled, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, good. Full life. Still have a cross, gotta keep that in mind. I think it's quite telling that even someone like me who grew up with a specific set of systems like Sony still questions what the hell the point even is. Not that I have loyalty to a brand, I think that's stupid. I've seen examples of where people defend some pretty terrible products just because it has the right label on it. Or buy ludicrously expensive stuff that they don't need just because that one name is on the stuff. Maybe in the case of luxury brands, it's just a status thing, which is something I can't understand. I would never be impressed, even if I was rich, if someone else had money and they were willing to burn it on nonsense like that. Sort of stream of consciousness here. But I don't know how else to handle this. Oh yeah! You. Algol mentioned that the gimmick of this area really reminds him of, parrying, and yet he really likes it, which is kind of interesting. I think I want to keep my distance. I was trying to avoid block because I'm crazy like that, but now I just want to live. Okay. I still wonder if parrying remains a staple in a lot of games, how would it have to be redesigned to be much more interesting than it is nowadays? To where parrying isn't necessarily better than movement, or maybe like an iframe dodge, but it's still useful. That's sort of a design challenge, I guess. Okay. That fight was kind of messy. What in the hell is this? The factory? Oh yeah, I haven't fought the factory yet. Alive factorably. It is descriptive. I was just thinking, it is also true that it's angry. So, am I seriously getting bodied by this thing? Okay. The shenanigans with the void block are very fun to do, because yeah, you don't want to trigger iframes with the shuriken. I think I mentioned that before. I'll try not to repeat myself like I already have. What in the hell was this? Excuse the pause. I might be catching a cold again. Ugh. Oh, right. Mine missiles it is. Good thing they can target the skulls. There are quite a few bosses. I've sort of lost count here. Oh, he almost screwed me over. I guess if you have explode dash, you can just dash through him in that way. Even if he goes up, it won't matter. Oh yeah, this is a slightly different layout for the Nightmare Heart. That was a terrible misinput. Oh, this layout is designed around the double jump, I see. Huh. Wait, does the void block even work on this boss? I guess it is the Wait, no, did you get Explode Dash from this boss? I can't remember. No, you get Void Block from Gas Man. You do get Explode Dash from this boss. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. It doesn't feel like... I think that was a good use of the cross. Yeah, save the run. Maybe I was just hitting it with Shuriken by accident, but I swear I was turning around. Maybe it's just oh, I did it! Losing track of the bosses is nice. This is a pleasant surprise. Oh, that was tough. I could do an extra long video for the finale, I guess. We'll see how it goes. If the other level will be worse than this. But yeah, I think Nightmare Heart just has a lot of life, maybe. It is stationary, it's an easy target, it's huge. So that would make sense. And yeah, you can see it's easy to assume now that the other level will also have one of these Zephyrs, I think. Oh, I see, there's no cross pickup in here, that's why the levels have one. Fair enough. And this is one of my favorite parts of the game, actually. I think this is super cool. Shh! Quiet! Never distract someone during the activity of conducting. It's Beethoven. And this... Oh no, I can't remember most of this. This is gonna be tough. Is the level rush. And yes, that's Beethoven's 5th. Oh, I don't remember there being that many spikes there. Huh. Okay, good enough. Sort of. Oh yeah, the Explode Dash can cancel out of the photo. I forgot about that. It's a remix. Which, remixing classical music is not always my favorite thing, but it's really cool here. I like it a lot. Yeah, that works. Oh, but yeah, they're gonna come back around, so... I think the exposed shining spikes on the bottom of those platforms can hurt you. Oh no, I didn't notice the gap. Oh no. Oh, that's diabolical. No, I have no idea how to get down. Curses. Yeah, that was awful. It's only 15 screens, but the time limit's tight, and I just messed up big time. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, okay. The 15 screens are in a random order. I do love that the track starts when you start the first screen. So you don't even have to look at the timer, you can just listen. Once you know the track, you can tell how much time is left. Oh, those lasers hit so hard! That's mean. I don't know how I'm gonna handle those flowers. But I do know how to handle new Sibley's. Ah, that's a pit. Kinda mean. It's hard to see that pit. Okay, that worked. Yeah, you can destroy the red one without it firing. That's good. Messed it up. Messed that up too. I don't know what screen I would want to use the cross on. Good. Maybe not the best, but good. I think my method for this screen could be slightly better as well. Made it. Damn it. I would have died otherwise, so yeah. That's not a bad use. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, this screen. Don't mess it up this time. Oh no. Yeah. Those spike blocks even physically block you, so yeah, I should have double jumped up to the topmost tile and then touched the arrow before the block reaches me. Tough stuff. Actually, now that I think about it, there are probably crosses at the start of the level in Boss Rush. Because Ryan was aware that... Okay, made it. Was probably aware of the issue that you would want to get a game over on purpose to get your cross back. In which case, do it for every level. But I already made that point, so it's fine. I could explode dash to save time. Ugh. The sparks combined with the moon is actually a really nasty combo. But that's cool, because I would want to see unique combinations like that in here. Ah. Maybe I could explode dash through the spikes next to the arrow there. In any case, it is nice that the level in Boss Rush refresh your cross whenever you die. And since game overs don't really matter in both of these, then it's fine. It is really funny that the red flowers blow themselves up like that. And it's also quite nice. Not quite. I wonder if the bombs are there to blow you up if you try to dash, actually. Maybe it's really precise. Okay. 100 seconds, so a minute and 40 seconds. I think there's no healing in here, which maybe that contributes to some restart syndrome all on its own. Oh no. How did that work out? Okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. Ideally. Nice how it works out with the wave behind me and that fish there. God. It's cool on that previous screen how you can take shelter from the vertically moving gun. Or no, the horizontally moving gun, but you'll be very close to the vertically moving shooter. Oh yeah, I could also do this. Yeah, that's good. Oh no, I don't know about this. Oh, it is doable. I guess that screen is my nemesis. Come to think of it, the benefit of remixing classical music is that it's royalty-free, right? But funnily enough, remixes of the music themselves are not royalty-free. And I know that because of Hi-Fi Rush. That's a little strange, isn't it? Oh well. The music world is messed up. I can't even begin to understand it. When developers have to make a streamer mode for their game because licensed tracks will just ruin the stream because of ridiculous copyright rules, I mean, things are pretty messed up. How did I dash through that without running into the spike? I was so close to it. If I held the direction before pressing the other buttons, I would have been dead. Oh no, that's not gonna work. Okay, that's really hard. Maybe I could just explode dash straight through, but I'm not confident. I think you could use mine missiles on those fish shooters, but it seems really slow and ill-advised. Okay. Oh, it got stuck somehow. Why didn't you use the cross, you idiot? That hurts. There's a quick way of doing that without getting hit, but I'm just messing it up. Damn it. Why do you line up so terribly? Those pedals, man. They're always where I don't want them to be. I could do something about it, but... yeah, that's the fast method. No damage. I could have taken an extra second. It wasn't... okay. I think that's probably the hardest laser frog route. Which would make sense. Since I'm pretty sure this level rush has virtually every element from the levels, I guess it is the level design equivalent of a boss rush. Like, here's everything you've dealt with. I'm sure some things are missing, but... oh, for instance, the boss rush I just realized didn't have Dark Ibli. I I wonder why. Actually, it didn't have a lot of World 3 stuff, if any. I understand the shmup boss not being in there, but why not lines or... That was an accidental explode dash followed by a fumble and I didn't die. How? How did that... Oh, I'm glad. Let's just go. I almost got photographed right there. Ooh. Improvising with dangerous routes like that. Oh, man. I swear I held right soon enough. Okay, yeah, this is hard. This is really hard. And it got stuck again. Work on your collision, Ryan. I think he did, though. When I played that other game, I didn't notice any unintended jank at all. Okay, I think I'm good at that screen. I noticed that maybe if I remember later I'll finish that thought. I do not like those flowers one bit. Okay, get to keep my cross. What is this? Yes! Didn't even need the freaking cross. Oh my god. I can't remember the thought I was about to... It doesn't matter. Victory. Victory is mine. That's what matters. I'm reminded at this moment, by the way, because of something he said, that YouTuber Raucow did a playthrough of this game, and I had no idea. The guy plays a lot of stuff. And he loves Mibibli's Quest. Because he has good taste. And he mentioned during that last bit where you climbed to grab the Zephyr that it would be really funny if the timer was still going there. And you know what? I kind of wish it did keep going, because then you'd have to optimize the screens a bit more to succeed. It would be evil, but I don't know. I'd enjoy it. Well, let's go pick up that 2 now. Let's see how the ending will change. Nothing much to say here. Wait, does the sheep say anything different? No. It'd be interesting. It would be nice if it said, "Oh wow, you did everything there," or something like that. dramatic walk again. Sometimes I feel like just letting something play out without any commentary, because I don't have much to add to it. And if I were to talk, maybe it would ruin the moment. I've done that 2 or 3 times, maybe, so far, counting this. This track is almost bittersweet, although that kind of ending, well, I guess you can say that the ending of Mibibli's quest is bittersweet, but also typically that's with narratives that can be taken more seriously than this. So here we go. Oh, right. You have to pick up both of them for some reason. Save the world twice over. And that's the exact same message. And Mibby shows up again. And the credits are exactly the same. I'll try to pay attention to the enemy names I missed last time. Wait, Deadibly is a separate thing? Well, I guess Shipibli is as well. Oh, it's just Photo-ibli. It's clearly some kind of robot, but yeah. I called the laser frog a drone, which I guess it is, but it is also a frog. Glassmite. Cart. That thing is just called Cart. Yeah, none of those surprise me. Diagradon. Huh. Why does that sound like a more sophisticated name for an enemy than most of these? Bullet shoot Ibli. I like that the bullet shoot has a little green arrow on it and the sprite flips to show which way it's moving. It's a little unnecessary, but I do like it. Hell Frog. Yeah, that thing definitely deserves its own name. The whole level is designed around it. Arm Cannon Ibli. Okay. Night Heart, not Nightmare Heart. But I think it's easy to mix that up. I wonder if you can... Maybe it's fun to pause here and try to pick out every single NPC you possibly can, like it's Where's Waldo or something. What in the world is Mibby's face? Does it have a snout? Why does it look like a lame emoticon? Yeah, the ending is exactly the same, and you accomplish almost nothing by doing World 4. But these weird, let's say, long neck Iblis show up, and you're told about this. I could sit here and let them go all the way up. They eventually stop growing. But yeah, a secret on the title screen, which now we have 2 secrets to do on the title screen. And I'm questioning which one I should start with. I think I'll do the other code first. And yeah, they stopped moving. That's all you get. I'll take a screenshot, I guess. Oh, right. I'll have to close the game and start it again. I will do everything. I think an extra long final video makes sense. I think having to manually close and reopen a game to go to the title screen after the ending is probably the most awkward thing that Mibibli's Quest makes you do. I wonder what that looked like. It's not just a matter of knowledge, by the way. You can see that arrow in the bottom left telling you to hold down. But I'm not gonna do that yet. First, I will input that code that was in 2 parts. I wrote it down. So, up, down, down, left, right, up, left, right, down, down, right, up, left, right, down, up, down, up. Yep. This is also exclusive to the Steam version, because obviously the 2 pieces of the code are exclusive to the Steam version. Mibby ruined all my shit. Fuck that guy, I hope he rots. My shit was all nice and good until he fucked it up. That cracks me up. 3 locks on a door. And we're actually playing VVV now. Even down to the fact that you could only flip gravity when you're standing on a surface. I believe this track is called Stumpy Land. It's been ages. Oh, there's one of the keys. But I can't generally remember the layout of this place. I am the god of queerness. With this sacred key, I bestow upon you the power to be fabulous. Thanks. Not that I need such a thing to be fabulous. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Oh yeah, this is definitely where one of them was. I think. No, I can't remember. It'll be a bit of wandering around. I do like how strange the tile set is. It's unappealing, but also kind of appealing. I am the goddess of breaking the 4th wall. With this sacred key, I bestow upon you the power of tired video game humor. One more. Left. Although I'm moving to the right. I can't help myself from making stupid jokes recently. I don't know what it is. I've been annoying a friend with it. The most recent example is I was telling him about Crimson Scales, which is an RPG. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Maybe I'll explain in the future. But I made the obvious terrible joke of, damn it, someone painted my scales. They laid it on thick, now the balance is off. It's really stupid, it's barely a joke. I am the goddess of wasting time on the internet. With this sacred key, I bestow upon you the power of letting your life slip by as you accomplish nothing. Honestly, all 3 of those messages seem maybe kind of personal to Ryan. I think that's safe to say. I wonder if he still does posts like the ones I was reading way back. Okay, I need to go up now. Where the hell was the door? Oh, there it is. let's go in. Oh, I have the double jump, but nothing else. I didn't remember the double jump at all. If you notice, I have 9 lives, or at least it says 9 up there. So yeah, and this tile set is where Mibibli showed up. And that life bar is not the color I'm used to it being. It's very strange that the boss doesn't do anything until you hit it. It's extremely beefy. You might be noticing the blue under the red. It has the most attacks out of anything in the game, although a lot of them are reused elements like these skulls. I don't expect to be able to do this that well, but ideally I can do this in the most impressive way possible. Yeah, you need to use the inverted bloodfall for that. Nothing too crazy though. I forget, do these green things show up anywhere else? I don't remember seeing them on this playthrough. Oh, this is bad. That's what I meant by the skulls sticking around. Oh god. This is harder than I remember it being. I think every hit takes away 1 pixel of the life bar. I don't recall if damaging the boss makes its attacks escalate. Maybe they get a little faster, I'm not sure. And that was only its first form. Oh god, another naked man. Thankfully, I still remember. Don't hit him during this, you'll die. That's a counter. Oh no. Those waves either go high or low when they come back. It's a whole thing. The first set of waves telegraphs the second. Kinda cool, actually. I like that attack. Sometimes he'll try to crush you by teleporting on top of you like that. You actually want to stay close to him so you have more time to react to those waves. This whole thing is an endurance battle on top of the 3 forms and all of the attacks. Okay, no need to jump. Oh no! I got greedy. I thought I could sneak in a couple more shots. So yeah, you actually have infinite lives, or at the very least you have so many that you can't see how many you have left. I guess the counter is single digit, because you were never meant to have this many. Sort of reminds me of Contra, actually. If you input the Konami code, the life indicator doesn't reflect that you have, what was it, 30 lives? Or more? So, this is why I wanted to, what I wanted to do was win on my first try, but it's really hard. when you beat a phase, on subsequent attempts, that phase only has half as much life. Which is kind of an interesting design decision. But I also wish there was a way to override it. Override it. I don't know if I stumbled my words there, if I'm just imagining it. Because obviously, beating all 3 phases with full life would be more impressive and more satisfying. But it's still cool, because I can't recall another game doing something like this. Exactly like this, anyway. Again, I love the music. It's really good. Each phase having its own music is really nice, actually. I wish more games did that. I think the standard now is having like one track that goes through phases and it skips ahead, or it keeps looping the same part of the track until you reach a later phase of the fight. Maybe lyrics kick in. Oh man, I should have been ready for that. I think Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance popularized the lyric thing specifically. Maybe even dynamic music for boss fights in general. I guess the benefit of the life of a phase being reduced is that you spend more time with the phase you're actually struggling with, which is nice. Although I question if having limited lives in this boss fight would accomplish the same thing without nerfing the life of each phase. That's the only thing. Let's say beating a phase gave you... Okay, just stand there. Gave you a life back. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And dying would just make you restart the current phase. Wait, I just described how Fury works, but I do like how Fury handles a life system. I think Mibibli's Quest handles a life system great for levels. Okay, I made it. And then there's this form with probably one of the best tracks in the game. And I just died immediately. But yeah, I think Mibibli's Quest handles the life system great for levels, and Fury handles it really great for boss fights. And they are my go-to examples for this is how you do a life system in a game, pretty much. And I think a game that has elaborate multi-stage bosses and challenging platforming levels could use both versions of the life system and just switch how it works when you enter a boss fight. I think that would be really cool. I want to see someone do that. Maybe they could even play with it to where certain bosses don't give you lives back, so making it to them... Like, maybe they have just a single phase that escalates with, like, movement and attack speed or something like that. So, you want to do good at the level... Or do well at the level, I guess. So that you have more attempts for the boss. I guess in this hypothetical game, that could be an homage to Mibibli's Quest. Ooh. Okay, the randomness of these attacks does require some on-the-fly thinking. I do like that, actually. This is a solid final boss, I would say. But when I mentioned that something was weird about the implementation of this, or at least that's what I was implying, I wonder why there was no final boss in the game originally. Maybe Ryan just didn't want to make one and he only did it reluctantly when people were genuinely disappointed that there was no final boss. because the code is really obvious. And I don't know, something about it just seemed odd to me, but odd in a way where I'm not sure if this is what Ryan always intended for this game. Maybe it's still fine, though. I did say that I like this fight regardless. But the main thing is that fighting this final boss is almost completely removed from your progress in the game. Like, yeah, you need to make it to the final hub world to find the code, but... Speaking of Danmaku and how much I like this phase, I guess a little bit of the first phase. Here's a thought. What's the distinction between a phase and a form? And where do you draw the line on what constitutes as either of the two? There's a query for the comments, maybe. Maybe I should use my community tab more. It'd be fun to just throw random thoughts at possible viewers when I'm not currently recording something or I'm not in the mood to. These ads can be kind of annoying, but they're more like destructible homing missiles, I would say, is what they feel like. This is the last thing, a screen shake for the rest of the fight. It does make your nerves stand on end, especially if you're low on life, which I like, but maybe it sort of constitutes an interface screw. Nothing else is different after this starts happening, though, I think. Maybe like phase 1, its attacks get a bit faster, I'm not entirely sure. I've only beaten this boss once before. Oh no. Yeah, that's the worst case scenario with the ads. Oh no. The drop off of the shuriken is also a big problem here because the screen scrolls. Yes! Kill it! Oh, that shows up if you don't press fire. Does anything else happen? Imagine if you die if you wait too long. Anyway, just press fire. Oh! There's the power Mibibli built up. Mibibli returned to its home planet. Fabulous end. The final boss has been defeated. It is more satisfying than the two endings that are basically the same ending. And it's definitely not anticlimactic like Crocodibli. I guess my whole thing with this final boss is I question if Ryan did it just to appease the player base. That's the only thing that gives me pause. And you get to listen to the Phase 3 music here, which is excellent. But yeah, that was Mibibli's quest, on Mibibli difficulty anyway. I guess technically, like I said, with it being disconnected from the save almost entirely, this final boss isn't really part of Mibibli difficulty, you know? It's just its own separate thing, and you can't make it any easier. which I kind of like. It almost reminds me of shoot 'em up true last bosses that are kind of cheese proof. Many of them you can't even fight in practice mode. And in some cases I've seen a true final boss, true last boss anyway. TLB is the abbreviation that's used by the shmup community. A TLB that has multiple phases, but if you use a continue during a phase, it doesn't do any of the other phases, so you're forced to do a 1cc to see everything, which is cool. And in this case, you're forced to have a regular size life bar, and for the boss to be always as difficult as it's supposed to be. Now, I would call it here, but I'm gonna relaunch the game again, because once again, there's no way of leaving this screen. Because although this is the end of Mibibli difficulty, it's not the end of me playing Mibibli's quest in general. As I mentioned, I want to do Insanity Shuffle. And look, there's a little icon for beating the final boss. But now I'm going to hold down and show this. We have what are essentially in-game achievements, and we have speedrun mode. Cutscene and story segments removed, timer in corner. As an example, the whole ridiculous cutscene with Crocodibly doesn't happen. I think the intro Crocodibly boss fight is skipped, which makes sense because you can't speed it up. I don't think you can die, so I questioned if you could die because the game just drops life, but I also remember Crocodibly not finishing you off, even if you get hit on purpose. Yeah, the later cutscene with Crocodibly, the walk at the end of the game after you take Crocodibly's hair is also skipped. And you also have the option of deleting the in-game achievements, which, honestly, I wish... This is one of those things that few people will ask for, but I wish more games let you erase all of your progress. Some modern games are almost hostile towards that idea for some reason. Where it's like, a game has in-game achievements and I want to get rid of them so I can earn them again. Maybe on a playthrough, if I'm recording. But it just doesn't seem to be an option. For instance, I want to delete all of my Sectori achievements called medals there. But I haven't found an option to do that. Maybe there's still a way of doing it. I'll try to figure it out. And yeah, I'm still playing Sectori. It's still fantastic. So next on the list, I'm gonna do them top down, although I didn't remember the order until I saw it here, is to complete Insanity Shuffle, and that'll be a separate playlist. I'll count the parts separately. It's a new playthrough from scratch, so I think that makes sense. And once I'm done with Insanity Shuffle, maybe I'll try to do the speedrun achievement, because I've never actually done that before. It would be nice to have all three of these on the title screen whenever I decide to revisit Mibibli's quest. I think the speedrun is going to be incredibly fun, actually. I'll practice a ton on my own, and I'll hypothetically upload the successful run. And yeah, that's all. Mibibli difficulty is over. So for the last time, thank you for watching.